A biker slapped a 76-year-old veteran in a diner. 11 minutes later, his son arrived with the army. The slap cracked through the air like a gunshot. Knuckles to cheek, a coffee cup trembled. The veteran did not move. His head stayed turned from the force. Every table fell silent. He sat alone in a corner booth, silver hair beneath a faded cap stitched with worn insignia. A quiet man. Every morning, same coffee, same seat, same routine. Today, the world changed. The biker towered over him. Black vest, greasy hands, a skull patch on his shoulder, a name stitched in red, Ridge. His breath reeked of liquor and cheap cigarettes. "You do not mouth off to the reapers, Grandpa," he said. "You bleed." The waitress stood frozen near the counter. No one stepped in. Not the manager, not the cook, even the sheriff's nephew, seated by the window, kept his head down. The veteran slowly turned his face back. His eyes were clear, cold. Not angry, just finished. He rose without a word, walked to the old rotary phone by the register, dialed from memory, "son." Now, he hung up, sat back down, picked up his cup. His hand was steady now. Ridge scoffed. "What, you calling the nursing home?" But he picked the wrong target. Harlan Briggs was not just a regular. He was the diner's morning shadow. 3 tours in the Middle East, 2 Purple Hearts, a silver star that stayed tucked away in a drawer. He lived alone now, just outside Asheville, in a small house that creaked more than he did. Every morning, same table, same black coffee, same quiet nod to the staff. He paid in crumpled bills, tipped in full, and said little. People in town knew him. Not from parades or speeches, but from presence. The kind that does not ask to be seen, only respected. Sometimes kids would whisper near the counter, "That guy was in a war. That guy's a ghost. That guy's the real deal." Harlan never corrected them. He just came in, sipped, and watched the door, like he still expected something bad to walk through it. Then Ridge showed up, leather vest, steel chain on his belt, and a voice too big for his frame. He had the kind of swagger that came from never being told no. He rolled with a crew called the Vultures, part gang, part noise, all trouble. He shoved open the diner door like it owed him space. Laughed too loud, sat where he wanted, ordered before asking. No one corrected him. His boots dragged mud across the tile. His hands left grease on the sugar canister. Today, he saw Harlan sitting in his usual booth and smirked. "Look at this antique," Ridge muttered, loud enough for everyone to hear. Bet the only war he fought was against gravity. No one laughed, but no one stopped him. The waitress, Kayla, barely 22, froze behind the coffee machine. She wanted to say something. She did not. Ridge stood over Harlan like a storm cloud, towering, taunting. "Where's your war stories now, huh? You think that little hat makes you something?" Harlan said nothing. He just took a slow sip of coffee, the kind of sip that made Ridge feel small, and that was the problem. Ridge slammed both palms onto Harlan's table. The dishes rattled. A fork clinked to the floor. The room jumped with the noise, but no one spoke. Harlan did not flinch. He simply looked up with the same calm he wore when he walked in. "Old meat," Ridge snarled. He grabbed a fistful of Harlan's flannel collar and jerked him forward just enough for their faces to meet. "I said, you got something else to say?" Harlan's hand did not go to Ridge's arm. It went to the diner's. Landline mounted just behind the counter. He reached it easily, no tremble, no fear. He dialed the number from memory. When the line clicked, he said 2 words, "Son." Now that was it. Ridge blinked, then let out a barking laugh. "You calling for backup, Grandpa?" He yanked the phone from Harlan's hand and dropped it to the floor. The silence in the room thickened. He reached into his boot and pulled. Something shiny, a knife. It clicked open in one hand, and Ridge set it gently against the tabletop. The metal edge scraped the wood, then stopped. Blade up between the sugar jar and the coffee creamer, Kayla gasped. She took 1 step forward, then stopped. "No heroes today," Ridge said. Eyes never leaving Harlan, but Harlan never looked at the knife. He folded his hands over his coffee cup and took a quiet sip. His elbows stayed on the table. His back stayed straight, that was all. Everyone in the diner sat still, staring at the booth like it was a bomb about to go off. The man in the window booth dropped his spoon. The cook peeked through the swinging door, then vanished. Even the radio, behind the counter, felt quiet. Ridge leaned in again, still feeling tough. Still got that soldier spine in you, or did it rot like the rest of your bones? Harlan did not answer. He blinked, breathed, and calmly stared forward. 5 seconds passed. 10. Outside, a bird flew past the window. Then came the sound. At first, soft, a rumble. Then thicker. Engines. The kind of engines that carry weight, the kind that make gravel shift and car. Alarms twitch. A faint vibration crept up from the tile floor. Ridge tilted his head. What the? Kayla stepped back, hand covering her mouth. The man near the exit moved his chair in tight. Harlan did not flinch. He just waited. 11 minutes after the slap, the ground outside the diner began to tremble. The engines roared louder. 3 military Humvees rolled into the gravel lot. Thick tires crushed loose stone. The air shifted. The silence inside the diner broke into whispers. Boots hit the pavement. Not rushed, not loud, perfectly in sync. E6. Soldiers stepped out, formation clean and tight. Not one word spoken. The rear vehicle's door opened. Out stepped Captain Ellis Briggs. Combat uniform pressed, eyes locked, jaw set like concrete. He did not move fast. He did not need to. Every step landed like a warning. Inside, Ridge glanced at the window. His face drained. He backed away from the table. The knife still sat between the sugar jar and the creamer, untouched. Now, Kayla gasped. The cook ducked down again. The bell above the diner door jingled once. Then the hinges creaked. Captain Ellis entered. Every soldier followed, 2x2 filling the space like a silent storm. No words yet, just presence. Then, finally, Ellis spoke. His voice was low, steady, like stone rolling downhill. You put your hands on a veteran? Ridge's lips parted, but no sound came. He looked down at the knife, then back at Ellis. The door shut behind them. The lock clicked. Ellis took one more step. Now you deal with me. Ridge's fingers inched toward the knife. He smirked, thinking no one noticed. 1 inch, then 2. He lunged, but he never reached it. A soldier moved faster than thought. No warning. 1 twist, 1 strike, 1 takedown. Ridge hit the floor with a hard slap of flesh on tile. His face scraped the linoleum, arms pinned behind his back. He screamed, but not from pain, from disbelief. The soldier did not speak, just tightened the cuffs with mechanical precision. Like Ridge was, cargo. Another soldier scooped up the knife. Clean, careful, practiced. He handed it off without looking. The blade disappeared into evidence. The rest of the squad remained still, watching, breathing, ready. They did not move unless told to. Ridge thrashed once. Then again, you can't docious, he shouted. You can't touch me like this. But nobody flinched outside the Humvees, idled like patient wolves. The back gate of one creaked open, steel-lined, secure. 2 men dragged Ridge to his feet. His boots scraped against the floor as he fought. You're done, he screamed. You're all gonna pay. His words were spit and noise, nothing more inside. Harlan reached for his coffee. Same hand, same calm, same sip. Captain Ellis turned his back to the chaos. He walked past Ridge without a glance. At the door, he paused. You are lucky. My father believes in law more than fire. The silence that followed carried more weight than Ridge's shouts. Outside, Ridge was shoved into the back cage. The latch slammed shut. The lock clicked. Inside the diner. People watched from behind their booths. Kayla leaned on the counter, hands trembling slightly, but her eyes clear. No one spoke. A man near the window whispered, "That was his son." Another answered softly, "That was Justice." The noise outside faded into engine hums and gravel crunch. And then silence, not fear, respect, the kind earned when power protects, not punishes. Ellis sat across from his father, the table still marked by the chaos that had passed. The coffee was cold now, but Harlan still held the cup like it meant something. Ellis studied his face, the bruise forming near his jaw, the steadiness in his hands. You good, Dad, Harlan smirked. Been through worse. It was not bravado, it was truth, the kind worn over years, not spoken. Ellis stood and offered his hand. Harlan took it. His son helped him to his feet, not because he had to, but because he could. The diner remained still. No one returned to their meals. No one looked away. The silence had shifted. Where there had been fear, there was now something else. Respect, understanding, a kind of quiet that only follows storms. Kayla watched from behind the counter. Her breath was steady, her eyes full of something between gratitude and awe. She did not say anything. She did not need to. Ellis opened the door. The sun spilled in, warm and golden, cutting long shadows across the diner floor outside. Harlan stepped into the light. His boots struck gravel with slow certainty. The same mane, but not the same weight on his shoulders. He had not thrown a punch, he had not shouted, but he had stood his ground, and for the first time in years, he felt taller than the man who struck him.